So in this video, I'm taking a closer look, potentially, at my chag. A few videos ago, I said this. Got a bit of a race scale on the chag. Don't know why, don't know how he's got that, but he has. Don't panic. And then during another video, I saw this. So we're at the stage now, this is a few days later after that video was created, that I think I'm going to have a closer look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, as I've always said, I don't really like taking my fish out of the pond unless completely necessary. And I think there's a necessity here to at least bowl, have a quick look, because I have a funny feeling I might have to go the whole hog here, get the fish out of the pond, sedate, clean up what I think is, well, I don't know what it is, to be honest. At the moment it's just a load of raised scales around a side of the body that's looks like it's inflamed. And I don't want to leave it too long in case things get infected and so on and so forth. So I've got my kit out today to sedate and sort. But first I'm going to take the fish into a bowl, into my clear bowl, because that doesn't seem to frighten the fish as much as putting the big blue bowl in that was kindly donated to me. Thank you. Putting the blue bowl in, because the blue bowl will have the treatments in to be able to deal with the fish. So we're going to have a look at that today, and we're going to do it in a minute. So let's crack on and get the fish out and then see what happens. And there might be other things that crop up as well in the meantime of stuff around the pond. Notice blanket weed might be on its way back as well, so we'll deal with that maybe today. I don't know. See how we get on with this. Okay, chag's out. Well, not out, but in the bowl. So I'm just going to bring her in a little bit now and just dump some of this water. And then we're going to have a quick look. So let's have a measure up while we're here, I think, with the chag. 55 cms. Actually, it's not looking as bad now. I've got it up near the surface now. It feels like all the scales are still alive. I found this Propolis spray, it's really good for just like having a quick remedy with, you know, anything to do with bees, beeswax. It's never a bad thing in my books. Right, so I've just put some Propolis spray on now. I'm just holding the fish out of the water so it kind of soaks in a little bit, doesn't get washed straight off with the water. Just gonna stay still enough for a little while. I'm also going to do a scrape while I'm here just to double check things. Right, so I'm just going to keep an eye on him now. I'm going to keep an eye on him now for a few days and see what happens. Right, there you go, that's interesting, isn't it? Don't know. Inflamed a little bit. I tell you what, it wasn't as bad as it looked yesterday. So whether it might be getting it's better on its own, who knows. But you saw what I did when I got it out. Had a quick look, it was just half a dozen scales sort of raised a little bit. You know, it's obviously knocked itself somewhere and something's going on under the scales, but all the scales are still alive. As far as I can see, because like I say, when you feel a scale feels like sandpaper, that's usually an indication it's a dead scale and that needs removing, because they go dead and then they get infected. But all the scales were nice and smooth, so as far as I can see, all the scales were alive. So I put that Propolis on. I don't know if it's going to do a lot, but it has done in the past. You know, I had smudge one time when I had quite a large problem with a dozen scales that had died. Again, don't know why. But cleaned that up and put some Propolis on, and after 2 applications it cured itself and all the scales came back and he's fantastic now. So I just keep an eye on that. Interestings. Let's get on with something else while we're doing that. Right, so it's been a few days now since we had the chag out to have a look at that, whatever it is on its side. I still can't figure out where he's got it from. It is known that fish sort of bump themselves and knock themselves about over winter. I don't know, who knows. But anyway, today the swelling's gone down a little bit and it looks a little bit better. So I think my last course of treatment is going to be a salt bath, just to double check, and then I'm not going to bother him again if it keeps getting better, and just let him recover himself. So I've got a couple of bowls ready with, one's going to be to just get him out, which is the clear one, because then it doesn't freak him out a little bit. There's going to a clear bowl, my theory. Who knows if it works or not. If you're trying to catch fish, try to using clear bowls. Maybe it doesn't freak them out as much, I have no idea. And then the second one is going to have the salt bath in it. Now I'm going to be working on a salt solution of 3 ounces to the gallon. So it's quite a high salinity, but he's only going to be in there for sort of 10 minutes, 15 tops. I'm working on more like 10. So 10 minutes in, salt bath. Make sure the salt has effect, because obviously salt's a good healer, as well as it does other things as well. It sort of helps with parasites and stuff. Some parasites, not all. And then we'll get him back in the pond. So I've got 8 gallons in there. So I'm going to just mix up this salt solution now and then bob him out, get him in there. So 3 ounces to the gallon. Right, I'm happy enough with that. Done it's 10, 15, I think I did about nearly 15 minutes. I've always been told when you're doing salt baths, if you're doing a high salinity like I did, the 3 ounces to the gallon, is leave them as long as you can. But when they start sort of turning, because it sort of puts them in a bit of a state of relax, and that's the time to get them out if they don't do the 15. But yeah, 10 to 15 minutes I usually just do a quick salt bath. I've never actually salted the pond. A lot of people said, why don't you salt your pond? Don't know, never tried it. Once you get it in, how are you going to get out again? But no, never salted the pond. I know a number of people, I think I was watching Chagoi Koi Adventures the other day when Andy from Chagoi Koi was over there dropping some fish off, and he was on about salting his pond. Maybe one day, but it won't be today. So I'm going to just keep an eye. I'm happy with the swelling. The swelling seems to have gone down, because it was quite inflamed when I first started this process. But the inflamed bit seems to be going down a little bit now. I'm still a bit concerned about those raised scales. There's still no dead scales. They're still quite smooth. But I'm hoping that might have done it. I also, I didn't film it, but yeah, also just before he went back in, it went back in, was I put a little bit more propolis on. Like I said, I had smudge that had this, and that was just a case of cleaning that up and then just propolis in it a couple of times, which worked, and now he's back to normal, no problem at all. So I'm going to keep an eye on it a couple of days and then report back. So it's been almost a month, not quite to the day, we're a couple of days away yet, since I found that number of raised scales and some inflammation on the side of my chag. I had him out again this morning, so much better. I spoke to Steve about that one scale. He says it's probably a bit of bruising that comes out when you're treating stuff like this. You get a little bit of bruising come out. That'll maybe last another couple of weeks, and then you should be back to right as rain. So that's good. So I'm happy with that. I shall put a link in the description of all the stuff that I've used to treat the chag over the last almost 5 weeks now. So I wanted to do this video all the way from the start to the end. So I've been kind of dipping in and out of making this video in between others as I've been going along. So thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, share, press that like button, because that makes all the difference. Thanks very much for watching. Koi Pond Lifestyle.